Hi everybody, Captain Foley here.
Hi.
And Silvija, she's joining me for this review. Today we're doing Star Trek 2009. Or should it be 2009? Nine! No!
You need to relax.
Okay, so like 'em or lump 'em, we're going to do JJ. She's going to play devil's advocate.
This is true.
Because I can be a little harsh sometimes, especially when it comes to JJ.
A lot harsh.
See, the Enterprise looks good from the side, but then it just falls to shit. But we're going to get into that later.
She's a little bit wide on the top.
We're going to sell it too close together. But, not a big deal. Let's get into it. So, you should all know, I'm not a big fan of JJ. You probably already know that. But I'm going to give him a fair shake in this video. Pros and cons. I've done that for all the Star Trek movies. They all have their good points and their bad points, and we're going to go over those. And she's going to jump in occasionally to kind of
wrangle him back into reality.
Make me not seem like not such a bad guy. Now, the first thing I want to say about these movies, the new Star Trek music is awesome. I'm very happy with it.
It's very orchestral.
Well, it always is in Star Trek.
Well, that's the point. It should be.
Okay, so music's great, but yeah. So I gotta say, when we was first in theaters, I saw it 7 times in theaters. We did. This first part excited me. First time on the big screen, you hear the classic bridge sounds, see a ship coming in, it's really cool. Very happy so far. All the chatter's cool. Also very happy with the uniforms. Pretty cool. And you also see like the actual communicators, like reimagined TOS communicators in a little bit, which is awesome. And of course, Silvija is a big fan of Mr. Hemsworth, also known as Mr. Kirk.
It's true.
James T. Kirk's dad in this movie. So this is the first time I think I've seen him in a movie before Thor.
Yes.
So I don't know if this is like his first movie or what the deal is, but I must admit I kind of like him. And it's kind of a shame to see the Kelvin get destroyed because it's kind of a neat ship, to be honest. Except for the phaser cannons. I don't like the phaser cannons.
Why? Because they come out?
Yeah, they shouldn't come out. But anyway. And I don't know what it is with JJ, but he likes big, wide open spaces for the inside of his starships, which doesn't make any sense considering that they're separated into decks. But apparently they're like 5-6 stories high in some spots, which is kind of ridiculous.
You get a secondary hull, engineering department. Has to be quite large engines.
No.
That's your answer?
Yeah. Original Star Trek. Like, remake something, don't fucking butcher it. There's a difference. Modernize it, don't wreck it. Shuttles are kind of cool. I like the shuttles. I gotta admit that. Shuttle design's awesome. And Kirk's mom's a hottie.
So you like her, right?
Yeah. Is that okay?
Of course it's okay.
Yeah, I like Kirk's mom. She likes his dad, so it's okay. And then we get Kirk, and he's Chris Pine, so I don't know.
He's a happy man.
Yeah. I got a few issues here. This is cool and all, but the timeline is supposed to be altered because Nero goes back in time, which is at this point. Already seen the Kelvin and everything. There's a bunch of different changes that shouldn't exist already. And, yeah, I don't know. This whole Kirk being born and then being raised without a father makes sense. There's a little bit more of a rebel, but at the same time, these changes shouldn't have happened already, a lot of them.
How do you know there wasn't an alternate timeline already in place?
Because then they're in a different universe altogether. They're not in the Prime Universe, which is what I've been saying all along. This isn't the real Star Trek Prime Universe. This is one of the other hundreds and hundreds of myriad other universes.
So it's still Star Trek.
And it's crap. No, it's alright. My next issue, how many shuttles are here? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. At least 20 shuttles.
Yep.
The Kelvin wasn't a big enough ship to have 20 shuttles, first of all. Second of all, they're in deep space. Where are these shuttles going to that they're going to be rescued? They're just going to wander around deep space forever? And Nero's ship is still there. Why doesn't he capture the shuttles, destroy them? The opening is really cool. I really enjoyed this in theaters. Seeing Star Trek on the big screen, with the logo, and the new music. Awesome.
That was enjoyable.
A Corvette. A Corvette in the future. Okay, already today, this car is an antique.
Yeah.
Hard to come by.
Yeah.
No, I don't think they would have a Corvette in the future.
How
and
is
then
that?
the Nokia.
Okay, you know what? Replicator technology.
Yeah, but who would want a piece of shit Corvette? I'm pissing off a lot of people today.
Oh.
And of course, he's got a Nokia fucking communication system in the car. In the future, Nokia still exists. No. No, 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 no. Beastie Boys. It's a good song and all, but actually, there's another movie that Chris Pine is in. This Means War.
Yes.
With the guy that plays Shinzon, and this song is in it. I wonder if it's in his contract that.
Like
That's actually Kirk's. That's actually Kirk's older brother, I think. There's a deleted scene where he's talking to his older brother. I believe that's him on his way to school or whatever in the middle of a cornfield. But anyway, this is just ridiculousness.
He's running away from home.
Sure.
His older brother. Yes.
I would too if I lived in this universe. And Mr. Robocop hover bike guy, very cool. Don't know if it's Star Trek.
It's Earth.
I think this is just J.J. Abrams, you know, playing ridiculous. And where is he? Iowa? Yes, Iowa. Where in Iowa is there a goddamn cliff? There's no cliff.
Maybe they mined something out of the ground.
Like what?
Potatoes.
Potatoes.
Large potatoes.
Large potatoes. And the physics. Apparently there's no physics in JJ's universe, because that would not happen.
It is physics, just not what you're used to.
That's because the universe is shit.
Bad language.
All in all, one thing I have to say is this is a very enjoyable movie to watch. If you're not a Star Trek fan. If you are a Star Trek fan, some of you do enjoy it, I understand that. But it's more Star Wars than Star Trek. It's more action-based. You don't have to have a brain or a knowledge of anything to enjoy this movie. This part's really cool. It kind of harkens back to Star Trek 4, where Spock is kind of relearning his information at the beginning, and the computer's asking him, well, there's 3 computer screens, and they're all asking him different questions. And it ends with, how do you feel? How do you feel?
How do you feel?
So this is pretty cool. He kind of kept that aesthetic for Vulcan, which is really neat. I kind of like that. So good job on that one, JJ. Last time I checked, Vulcans were supposed to be logical creatures.
This is your 30th
Even the kids.
to elicit an emotional response from me.
These 3 assholes are bullies.
Yes.
Plain and simple.
Yes.
Bullies work on an emotional level, not a logical level. So, like in all the JJ movies, or both, and especially in this one, you see a lot of rage coming from Spock.
Vulcans, at a young age, can have emotional problems. Shall we talk about Tuvok?
No, we shall not talk about Tuvok.
He did have problems. He didn't even want to give up his emotions when he was a teenager. There's a whole episode in Voyager about that.
But they're knocking him for being half human, and they're being dicks themselves.
Vulcans are
They called you a traitor.
I hate bullies. Anyway, this guy, Ben Cross, awesome actor. He played in one of my favorite made-for-TV miniseries called, well, it's a remake of the original Dark Shadows, which we watched. Very good. He plays Barnabas Collins. I didn't know he was in this movie until like I'd watched it 3 or 4 times. I'm like, wait a minute, that's Ben Cross. So pretty cool.
Cultivate multiple options.
Logical, but unnecessary. You're hereby accepted to the Vulcan Science Academy. It is truly remarkable, Spock, that you have achieved so much, despite your disadvantage. All right.
Pissed off look. Nothing has influenced Spock or Vulcan yet.
To what disadvantage are you?
Yet apparently Spock has more of a little bit of an attitude in this universe than he does in the real universe. The real Spock, or Spock Prime, sorry, can keep his shit together a little bit better than this.
Has ever declined admission to this academy.
Then as I am half human, your record remains untarnished.
He's just emotioning all over the place right here.
Why did you come before this council today?
Emotioning all over the place.
Satisfy your emotional need to rebel?
The only emotion I wish to convey is gratitude. Thank you, ministers, for your consideration. Live long and prosper.
See, dripping with emotion. I don't know. He makes a good Spock, but at the same time he doesn't. I like this song too. Apparently there's a nightclub in a cornfield in Iowa.
Yeah. Country bar.
I have a bit of an issue with what she orders here. We'll wait.
I like a cabinet fire tea, 3 Budweiser Classics, 2 Cardassian Sunrises, and
The slush is good.
the slush mix, thank you.
Cardassian Sunrises. I guarantee you that in TOS era they didn't know about Cardassia. So there would be no drink named Cardassian Sunrise.
I at least want to know my name. It's Jim Kirk.
If you don't tell me your name, I'm gonna have to make one up.
It's Uhura.
No way, that's the name I was gonna make up.
Look at the guy in the middle.
I feel bad for him.
Just Uhura.
Why? Because the way he looks?
Last names in your world?
No, for being between these two idiots.
First names you?
And don't get me wrong, I like this Kirk. He's that cocky, brash Kirk attitude, but not tempered by having a father that he could look up to and be raised by, which is kind of neat, kind of rebellious and stuff. So his whole personal development in this film doesn't bother me. It makes sense. Hey, look, it's Cupcake.
But it's not the knife you can handle.
You could have.
He looks a lot like my friend Jay.
You better mind your manners.
Relax, Cupcake. It was a joke.
Hey, Thornwood, maybe you can't count, but there are 4 of us and 1 of you.
So get some more guys and then it'll be an even fight.
I kind of bust Jay's balls like that. I don't think we've actually physically fighted yet because I've offered to many times and he's just a coward. So they're having a bar fight in Iowa, which in and of itself is not a big deal. That probably happens every day in Iowa. But why are Starfleet cadets in Iowa?
The shipyard.
Starfleet Academy is in San Francisco. Why are there cadets
All right, son.
at a shipyard? And why is there a goddamn shipyard? And we're going to come to that later.
Well, I couldn't believe
The Enterprise was built in orbit because that's what you need to actually do, build a ship that large. But we're going to get to that in a second.
Your father was captain of the starship for 12 minutes. He saved 800 lives.
800 people on the Kelvin. It's a scout class ship, at least. 800 people. The TOS Enterprise had a complement of 430 people. That's a heavy cruiser. That's a Constitution class. So you're telling me that the Enterprise probably has a complement of 1,600?
That's bigger than the D.
Yeah. Well, this is an ongoing issue on the internet. What size is the JJ prize? They have it bigger than the D in some scales, same size, some, they don't really explain it. It does make sense, though, that if there was an incursion by a Romulan ship from the future that destroyed the Kelvin, that they would beef up their ships, make them a bit bigger, maybe. You know what I mean? But the Kelvin already existed with an 800 crew. That doesn't make sense. So, here we go. Shipyard. In a cornfield. In Iowa. On the ground. Structural integrity of this ship would not allow it to be built on Earth.
Maybe in this universe it does.
Yes, the physics in JJ's... yeah, it's true. JJ physics. That explains everything. Oh.
I had one in the back.
Carl Urban as McCoy is the bomb diggity.
It means fear or dying.
For your own safety, sit down, or else I'll make
And
you
the
sit
thing with
down.
Carl Urban, he's a huge Star Trek fan.
Huge.
We saw him at Vegas Con last year, 2013, and on stage he was like
I may throw up on you.
Planet to Planet transporters, man. You know, he wasn't huge on a lot of the issues, but he and his son have watched all the original series, so it's really cool that he's a big Star Trek fan. Does a great McCoy, I think.
Space is disease and danger, darkness and silence.
That space was a vacuum.
Starfleet operates in space.
JJ verse.
Got it. Different science along with physics.
Left to the damn
Along
planet.
with physics and science.
Left to the bones.
It's cool. That's how he got his nickname. That I like.
Jim Kirk. Core. Leonard.
So it's nice every now and then to just shut off your brain and watch a movie, and this is one of those movies. But I'm such a big Star Trek fan that I can't really shut off my brain for this amount of time without it screaming,
He can shut off his brain for hours if he wants to.
unless I'm watching Star Trek, and then it's like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. Wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. Wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. In the theater, I was ripping my hair out about second or third time. First time, I just shut off my brain and said, okay, let's see what happens. Really good. See it again, and it's like, oh my god, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. Oi. I say oi a lot.
Leo says it's time.
It's okay, you can drink your coffee. This is 25 years later. They've been floating around space for 25 years. I know there's a deleted scene where he was on Rurapente, captured by the Klingons, and then they escape and get their ship back, which is really neat, by the way, and they should have kept it in the movie. Of course, JJ doesn't do anything right, so... What were the Klingons doing with his advanced Romulan mining ship that has Borg technology for 25 years? The Klingon ship should be more advanced for sure by now, because they would have ripped this thing apart and reverse engineered it. And look, it's the jellyfish.
Did you just say that was so weird?
Yeah, I did.
You don't love me too?
I thought you said she was not with it.
Obviously she's not like you.
She's cute, too. A red-headed Orion.
Because I promised her I'd stop bringing guys back to the
Really? How many guys have you?
She's an Orion. How many guys do you think?
Hey, how are you? Good. Strangest thing. I was in the
She
water
also
research
plays,
and- Yeah, I thought, all right.
Lady
It's
J.
chopping solar systems
I
and
forget her character's name
It's
in
been
the
a
G.I. Joe movie, but
Really? Yeah.
yeah.
The Klingon prison planet. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The very-
Our
yeah.
honor was destroyed. 47 ships. So
Don't look at
you're
that.
not coming back to the lab tonight?
Not worth looking at. That's worth looking at.
Kayla, who is he?
Is he?
The mouth breather hiding under your bed.
You can hear me breathing?
You.
Big deal, Laurel.
You're gonna.
She needed a bigger role in this movie, in my opinion.
If I pass, will you tell me your first name?
No, do
I
not.
think the fact that you picked up the transmission is very interesting.
And this part where she picked up the transmission, that was
We
in
received
reference
a
to
signal from the USS
the
Kobayashi.
escape of Nero
ship
from the
has lost power and
Rurapente.
is stranded.
She intercepted the Klingon signal, so
Starfleet Command
They should have kept that scene.
rescue them.
this Kobayashi Marusi, no, I love it. I got to admit, Kirk's cockiness it amuses me.
That's
Classic.
okay?
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Did he say don't worry about it? Is she not taking his supervision seriously?
3 more Klingon warbirds decloaking and targeting our ship.
In the real timeline, though, McCoy wouldn't have been in his class.
All crew members from the damn ship.
And how do you expect us to rescue them when we're surrounded by Klingons, Captain?
I'll learn medical.
Our ship's being hit. Shields are 60%.
I understand.
I understand.
Fire back.
No. Of course not.
According to Cinema Sins, eating an apple makes you look like even more of an asshole. So,
Sure. What is this? What's going on? Armed photons, prepare to fire on the Klingon warbirds.
Yes, sir. Jim, your shield.
Klingons don't have warbirds.
No.
Well, maybe now they do because they reverse engineered Nero's ship.
There you go.
And technically,
They did reverse.
they would have access to his complete computer database, which would have all the next generation information on Romulan ships.
But didn't originally the Klingons reverse engineer Romulan technology?
No.
That's how they got the cloaking device?
No.
Rescue of the Kobayashi
No.
crew
You need to watch Trekyards.
underway.
They had a treaty. The Romulans formed a treaty with the Klingons
How the hell did that kid beat you?
to get to get ship designs like the D7 in exchange for the cloaking device technology. They didn't reverse engineer it. They traded for it. It was a military thing. Yeah. Watch Trekyards.
Step forward, please.
And the fact that Spock
This is Commander Spock. He is one of our most distinguished graduates.
programmed Kobayashi Maru is also bullshit.
For the last 4 years.
Because in the original timeline, of course, we all know that Spock was serving on the Enterprise with Captain Pike years before
Your point being?
this ever would have happened.
You cheated.
So the whole timeline's out of whack. A bunch of things don't make sense. JJ just threw everybody together in the same class or at Starfleet, just so it's easy to get everybody back together on the ship. Which is
Your argument precludes.
this part here where this part here where Uhura gets assigned the Farragut, and then because of her relationship with Spock, which came out of the blue,
Indeed, you were.
she talks her way onto the Enterprise, which is also bullshit. So we're expecting to believe that Uhura doesn't actually have the advanced technical knowledge that she's supposed to have. But the only reason she got the flagship was because she's a bitch.
That's not it. If you actually listen, he didn't want to put her on the Enterprise because he didn't want them to misconstrue their relationship.
Yes, I believe you are.
Which they don't have! That came out of nowhere. JJ, go. So,
He doesn't like that Spock and Uhura are a thing.
because it shouldn't be.
Why not?
Because it's Spock.
What does that mean?
Four. Give you the symptoms. What are you talking about?
It should be at least. Hold on, I gotta pause this part because I was trying to pay attention. It should at least be Nurse Chapel, or no one else. Scotty and Uhura should at least maybe have a little hint of something starting, as we see in Star Trek V, where they kind of have a little thing going on.
But who cares? It's an alternate universe.
I
so-
care. They care.
Who's they?
About 86% of the people watching this video give a shit.
86.
The rest think JJ's awesome.
86.
Yes, 86.
Where did you pull that out of?
It's a
Your
statistic.
ass.
It's scientific JJ stuff.
Your ass.
My ass is a nice place sometimes. I don't know why I said that. Sorry, guys. So would you say... Oh. Would you say I'm an ass?
Yes.
You are what you eat, guys. Oh, that also makes me a pussy. There's a scene coming up here where Chris Pine channels his inner Shatner, and it's a perfect Shatner moment. I can see Shatner doing this. Right here.
Yeah, you owe me.
Even his facial expression. Oh, it's a favor. Looks exactly like Shatner would. First of all, I love the movie, love the music. I gotta say something positive because this part, they've been through Starfleet Academy for 3 years now, at least,
Yes.
and they're fucking amazed by how a starbase looks. Seriously, they haven't been on a starbase. They haven't seen one in pictures. Ooh, look, it's a ship in starbases. Ooh.
So you're saying that a picture is the same as seeing it in real life?
They would have seen it in real life many times. That's part of their training.
Maybe
If not,
they were grounded. Maybe that starbase just got built.
that's ridiculous. Next off, we're just going to rewind a second. The Enterprise is my absolute favorite character from Star Trek, bar none. Kirk's second. This is like casting Cyndi Lauper in the role of the Enterprise. What a flaming pile of shit. It's not even half-ass attractive. The front of the secondary hull sticks out too far. The nacelles are too close together. Their size isn't really that bad. The struts that connect into the secondary hull are all wrong. The registry number I like because it's done in the movie era style with the outlining of the numbers. So that looks really cool. Look at these struts. And where do they go? Where's the warp core? Because you look in there, the struts are between, or sorry, the shuttle bay goes right between the struts. Bullshit! Where's the, there it is.
There's engineering.
Look it, it's a goddamn Budweiser factory. Which it actually was. They were going to build a set for the engineering for this movie, but they ran out of money. So they just rented the Budweiser. That's why they have the Budweiser plug earlier, by the way. Budweiser Classic. But yeah, so it is a brewery for the engine room. And is this a bridge of a starship, or is this a fucking Mac store?
Enterprise,
Look,
powered by Apple.
Look, exactly. There's like barcode scanners everywhere. It's all bright and white. Don't get me wrong, I love iPhone. This is being filmed on an iPad. I'm a Mac kind of guy, and this is definitely the Enterprise because I don't like it. I don't like it. I like all my devices, but I don't like the Enterprise or the JJ Prize. See, look at the barcode scanners. They're at like every station. Punch it. Okay, Chewie. Punch it. What is this? What's that? Oh. External inertial dampeners don't exist in Star Trek. You know what an inertial dampener does? Prevents you from fucking getting smushed into the wall when the ship goes to war. It's on the inside of the ship.
Sir, he couldn't report to his post. I'm Hikaru Sulu.
And you are a pilot, right?
No.
Very much so, sir.
No. I'm a janitor.
I'm not sure what's wrong here.
Is the parking brake on?
No. I'll figure it out.
Have you disengaged the external inertial dampener?
What the fuck is that?
Ready for warp, sir.
Let's punch it.
Let's punch it. Again. Alright, Han Solo. We'll do that.
What the hell was that?
Chewie!
That wasn't Chewie. Maybe if Chewie was going through a wood chipper.
They spend the money to build a goddamn sick bay, which they could have filmed like practically anywhere, but they didn't spend that money to build an engineering room, which had a warp core, which actually looked like a fucking engineering room.
Engines at maximum warp, Captain.
Russian whiskey, what's your name, Chanko? Cherpov?
Ensign Chekhov, Pavel Andreevich, sir.
Fine. Chekhov, Pavel Andreevich. Begin shipwide mission
How
broadcast.
this crew got together in this universe makes no sense at all.
Authorization code 95 Victor
Victor, Victor.
not recognized. Ensign authorization code 95 Victor 2. Access granted.
You would think that they'd be able to understand accents.
Attention, please.
Or give him a different code.
200 hours, telemetry
Tango?
detected an anomaly in the
Yeah.
neutral zone, but appear to be
Part of the brewery. Look. There's some Budweiser goodness in there. I probably drank some of the stuff out of these vats. Out of vats? Containers. And that. And then.
You got none, Tom?
None done.
I can fix that.
Another second, no done. I didn't. I don't think physically this would work. The stresses on this thing would like. I don't know if it would pull the ship down through the atmosphere or if it would just shut her off because it's
The
not.
tether?
Yeah.
A
Just
mining
seems,
tether?
just seems sketchy. That's a nitpicky thing on my part.
Nero, 7 Federation.
I am a fan of these outfits, though, the uniforms. I like the black tunic underneath with the colored one on top. Yeah, the pattern color. It looks good. It's a good reimagining of TOS, unlike the Enterprise. Ships have sensors. Whether they're in warp or not, they should be able to detect that there's a bunch of debris that they're going to be coming out of warp into.
Dampening field also stopped communication.
Good point. Good point. Okay. High five. High five. That's why I keep her around. She keeps me in check. But seriously. Yeah, no. So the whole fleet got destroyed, apparently.
No. Not the whole fleet.
The Enterprise isn't destroyed.
Remember, the
Should've
primary fleet was in the Laurentian system? That's why they sent all the cadets?
Oh, yeah, good call on that one. Let's load up a bunch of ships full of cadets. No experienced crew. Boom! They all did. Were they all wearing red shirts?
Probably. But it's not the first time that the Starfleet has sent in ships ill-equipped to handle the situation. Look at Star Trek V.
Oh, we're the only ship in the quadrant. Star Trek V was, we need Captain Kirk.
Yeah, and they sent him with the ship that was barely working. Scotty was pissed about that one. And then if you,
Enterprise B.
yes, with the Enterprise B, when they were sent to go on the Elorian ships, nothing was on there. No photon torpedoes. Those were coming on Tuesday. No medical staff. Those were coming on Tuesday.
Because all the new releases come out on Tuesday.
That's also true.
But no, yeah, and I even say that in my Enterprise or Star Trek Generations review. You're telling me that the Enterprise B was the only ship in the quadrant when they were at Earth? Bullshit! But yeah, it's used a lot in Star Trek. Well, the Enterprise is the only ship in the quadrant. Well, look-de-doo-de-doo. That's why it's funny in Star Trek V where he says, surely there must be other ships. Other ships. But we need Jim Kirk. Oh, please.
Then Jim Kirk could have gotten a better ship.
I like the Enterprise A.
There was nothing wrong with the Enterprise A. It was put together. It was in pieces in a space dock.
It wasn't in pieces. And it wasn't in space dock.
Dry dock.
It wasn't in dry dock.
Where was it?
Hovering near the moon.
And what were they doing to it?
Scotty was trying to fix it.
Because it was in pieces.
It wasn't in pieces. Half the doors didn't open. Now we're talking about different movies, so we're getting off topic.
We stand at plot.
But see, look, barcode scanners. And they're everywhere. Just watch the movie again and look for all the barcode scanners. There's one there. There's the one I just pointed out. But the stations behind the captain have
Maybe
them
they're desk lamps.
with red lights that face forward.
Yes.
Yeah.
Spock, there's something I would like you to see. Captain Pike, your transporter has been disabled. As you can see by the rest of
Of
your
course
body,
it has.
you have no choice.
Camping field.
You will manage, Sean. Come aboard the Nero.
We're going to go to another show I have with the bridge. First of all, the view screen's a goddamn window, which is bullshit. Second of all, it's on the wrong deck, because there's a door. See, that's where the bridge should be. Anyway, there's a door that comes straight off a hallway into the bridge. No, sir. No, sir. The bridge is that little dome right there. Not 2 or 3 decks below that, where the big window. Look at this big-ass ball of red matter they have in this room. Sorry, I should rewind that so you can actually see what I'm talking about. She walks in. We don't even know what red matter is, first of all. But there's a huge-ass ball of it. Huge. To create a singularity to destroy a planet, all they need is 1 drop. That size. Just keep that in mind for the end of the movie. So Pike puts Kirk, or Spock in command, which is fine. Kirk gets promoted to first officer. They're telling there's nobody on the ship of probably, well, this is JJ Mercer, probably over 1,000 fucking people that can't be promoted to first officer. He's gonna pull a cadet. I know he knows Kirk. I mean, sees potential in Kirk.
Exactly.
And you're Mr. Kirk's dad, or son, sorry, blah, 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 blah.
Plus,
You're not going to make some hothead fucking recruit or cadet. See, there's that. There was
Okay.
the door, just walking on
but
the
don't you think Spock, being logical, would need someone opposite of him to be a proper first officer?
There's 1,000 people at least on this piece of shit ship.
Uhura?
A hooer? What?
Make Uhura first officer then.
She's a woman. And of course, the hot-headed red shirt that's eager to kick some Romulan ass pulls his chute late and dies. And in the most ridiculous piece of crap, which actually is pretty standard for most movies, he happened to be the only one carrying charges to blow this thing up.
Olsen is gone, sir.
I'm surprised he didn't make a bigger bang when he hit that, beam.
Probably like C4 though. What do you mean? What do you mean?
Well, when he hit that beam, you would think that the explosives he was carrying would have gone boom, and there would have been a bigger bang when he went into the beam.
Unless it was like C4 where you need a charge to go through it for it to work.
An electrical charge?
Yeah,
Create a cascade reaction?
for sure. But yeah, you think they'd at least all have one charge just in case? But no, let's give all the charges to the guy in the red shirt, because that's a great idea. Apparently there's one constant in the Star Trek universe, TOS era anyway, and that's the whole red shirt constant.
Okay.
I love how Uhura acts like she's in high school, with her high school drama bullshit. At the wrong times, I might add. Comes into play in Star Trek 2, the next one, Into Darkness. But we'll get to that when we get to that. What I'm saying is, she acts very emotional for an officer. It's because she's a woman. Another woman comment, but she was here after I made the last one, so she's not going anywhere. Next scene, she's gonna be gone. Okay, this part here too, where Chekhov's like, I can do that, I can do that. First of all, he's gotta get to the transporter room in time, which is kind of iffy at best. But then again, it's probably on the same floor as the fucking bridge. Secondly, in the original series, there actually was a stasis field when you beamed. You couldn't move while you beamed. By the time the movie era rolled around, you could talk while you were beaming, you could move, and then come Next Generation, you could actually be moving while you get beamed. But in the original Star Trek, there was a stasis field that locked your body in position, otherwise your molecules would get scattered. Unless you believe Enterprise, where they beamed out Archer while he was running. But that's another fuck with the timeline mistake.
Language.
Mess with the timeline mistake. She needs a little censor bar that says censored on it. All over my mouth. So this whole part, that's bullshit. I'm sorry.
Spock, you can't do that!
And why does he feel the need to crouch to beam down to the planet's surface?
Look at the stability of the planet. It's shaking. There's eruptions and everything. Personally, if I was going to beam down to like a kind of iffy planet, I would want my center of gravity as low as possible so I don't fall over.
That's actually fair enough, I got to admit. Still a little sketchy, but I can kind of see where they're going, where they were going with that. So, high five on that one. No less than probably 10 minutes ago, Chekhov beamed two people that were falling at terminal velocity, mind you, onto the ship. But when he's trying to beam somebody that's standing on something that suddenly just kind of falls, he can't do that. Oh.
Maybe she got squashed before he could compensate.
No, I don't think so.
Maybe he didn't like her.
I just call bullshit on that. That's all I have to say. Bullshit!
Language.
That's coughing. So one drop of red matter, one drop, does this. Creates a singularity big enough to consume a planet. That's sketchy material. And they got a big ass ball of it. Keep that in mind for the end of the show. Here's more of the inappropriate, bad timing bullshit on Uhura's part. I love you, because I don't know why. Just because it's written in the script. Never would happen in real life.
She flirted with him before.
Not really.
There was that time when they were singing in the mess hall. Spock was playing.
That's not flirting though, that's just...
That was flirtatious.
That was not flirtatious. That had nothing romantic at all. That was just
Flirtatious.
an
She's
impromptu
being playful.
performance for the crew that was in the mess hall.
And she was being flirty.
Comment below, because you know what she's referring to, and it's bullshit. She was not being flirty. She was not being romantic.
No, she was being flirty.
No, she wasn't.
Women can tell when other women are flirty.
No. Well, you probably can, but no. This is bullshit.
He just doesn't like PDAs.
Well, that wasn't really public, though. They were in an elevator.
Millions of people just saw it.
Well, look. They're in hyperspace.
You must have gone.
That's not warp, guys. That's hyperspace. That's Star
I
Wars.
only have one.
Transport conduit?
Yeah.
I need the subspace frequencies of Starfleet's border protection grids.
This is a simple mining vessel.
Why is there water on the floor of his ship? You think that posed some kind of electrical hazard?
Provide for myself and the wife who's expecting my child. I was off planet doing.
No, the floor, seriously, the floor is covered in water around this table.
My people
So?
were not our planet broke in half. And Spock.
Maybe there's a leak they haven't gotten to it yet. It's a big shed. There's not that many people on it.
And the Klingons have been fucking with it for 25 years.
Now you're blaming the Federation for something that's
But that never really happened because this is a deleted scene. So.
Don't tell me it didn't happen.
And Eric Bana, Nero, awesome job. I love him as a villain. I like him in this movie a lot. Being a Romulan is kind of meh, but I really do enjoy his character.
Something Romulan.
No, nothing. It's just he doesn't act like a Romulan. I'm just saying, he doesn't specifically act like a Romulan. He makes a great bad guy, and he's good in this movie, but I don't know if he's a Romulan per se.
What's a Romulan?
Romulan are more sneaky, more conniving, not so rage. I know his family died and all, but
Planet destroyed.
I don't know, maybe I'm off base on that one. But he makes a good bad guy. Just Romulan, I don't know.
All the remaining Federation planets are frequencies.
Personally, if someone's gonna drop something in my mouth that's gonna bury itself into the back of my head and attach it to my brain, if someone drops it in my mouth, I'm gonna start eating it or chewing it or biting its head off or something.
Have you confirmed that Nero is headed for Earth?
Their trajectory suggests.
I don't want to do my fly near you anymore.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
Seriously.
Seriously, to go back to that scene, like I stated earlier, prior to this scene, the floor was covered in water around the table.
Frequencies, please, sir.
As soon as this goes in his mouth, which she would chew and munch. Feel bad for me, guys. Feel bad for me. But... See, there's no water now.
Maybe they drained it.
Yeah,
Maybe one of the Romulans fixed the
Trajectory
leak.
suggests no other destination, Captain.
Oh, the plumbing guy.
Yes.
The one with the crack.
Next stop, but we have to assume every Federation planet's a terminal.
Stop.
Well, if the Federation is
Such technology could
Classic
create
McCoy moment coming up.
Create a tunnel through space-time.
Damn it, man, I'm a doctor, not a physicist. Are you actually suggesting that from the
If
future?
you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. How poetic.
Okay, I know that's said in Star Trek 6 by Spock as well,
as Captain,
but
he has no details.
it's actually a Sherlock Holmes quote. I'm a huge Sherlock Holmes fan. They use it in Star Trek quite a bit, actually.
We are technologically outmatched in every way.
But that's because Nicholas Meyer, who directed Star Trek 6,
Nero's ship would have to drop out of work for us
is a
to
huge
overtake them.
Sherlock Holmes fan.
Assigning engineering crews to
But anyway,
The remaining power and crew
so yeah, that line always bothers me because in Star Trek 6, Spock says it's one of his ancestors that said it,
must gather with the rest of Starfleet
which could be
balance the terms of the next engagement.
because of the mind melt, or McCoy holding his Katra, gets things confused, like when he says only Nixon can go to China. Not a Spock moment really, but
But he is half human.
I know, but
So why are we thinking it's on his Vulcan ancestry and not his human ancestry?
because I believe he says the Vulcan ancestor of mine, maintained.
Now we have to watch that movie again.
It's in my Star Trek 6 review. Check that out also. Like I'm referring to the other reviews I've already done, so check them out as well. They'll be in the same playlist as this one.
Get him off this ship.
This part, Why would you just eject somebody into an inhospitable environment? You don't like him? Doesn't seem very Vulcan now, does it?
No more human.
Yeah, protocol would dictate you put him in the brig. Second of all, Delta Vega is not this close to Vulcan. Delta Vega is actually a long, 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 long way from Vulcan. So, it's also in the opposite direction, I believe, because they're heading towards Earth right now. And Delta Vega is kind of on the outskirts. So, watch where no man has gone before, you'll know where Delta Vega is. And as per JJ's level of Star Wars, here we have a Star Wars moment with Star Wars type creatures.
What would you expect to be living on an ice planet?
You don't have your horns on. You can't devil's advocate if you don't have horns.
Okay. What would you be
Wow, you're
expecting?
horny.
Hey, what would you expect to be living on an ice planet?
This one makes sense, but look at this big ass thing. It's red. What kind of camouflage is a red creature on an ice planet? The little one that was running after him. That makes perfect sense. That's almost like the ones in Star Trek 6 on Repente. The little dog type creatures that the Klingons have. But this big ass red thing? Red?
Why does it need to camouflage itself? I don't think anything's bigger than that to eat it.
So why does the great white shark have to camouflage itself?
So that the prey doesn't see it.
Exactly.
How do you know that doesn't live under the ice? And maybe
Judging by its colorization, I would say it was close to the core of the planet.
there you go.
Which means it would probably not live very long in freezing temperatures.
How do you know?
I know.
Maybe it's turning red because its blood circulation is increased to keep it longer.
Maybe she's mad.
Probably.
Yeah. Or maybe it's from the Star Wars universe.
Where have you seen that in the Star Wars universe?
I don't know. Looks like cross between a Rancor and like the Sarlacc monster.
Kind of looks like a squid.
That's afraid of fire too. Which makes sense for something on an ice planet, but if it lives near the core and where it's warm, where it would be
Maybe
camouflaged.
it's like a squid and it has bioluminescence and it's just changing color because it's aggressive. And when it's not aggressive and just chilling out, it's like a gray color.
Maybe.
James T. Kirk.
Excuse me?
He looks nothing like her.
How do you know my name?
I know, nitpicky.
I have been, and always shall be, your friend.
Okay, according to CBS, when they CBS owns the rights to the real Star Trek.
I am
Bad Robot has the rights to this JJ stuff, but CBS is saying that Prime Spock never went back in time, never did this. So this whole thing never actually happened, according to CBS, which is awesome because when CBS brings Star Trek back to TV, I think this is going to all be null and void, which is awesome. So now we get the story of what happened. Listen.
129 years from now, a star will explode and threaten to destroy the galaxy.
A supernova will not destroy the galaxy. The galaxy's a pretty big place. The supernova will only destroy a solar system and cause some problems in that region of space for quite a while. But it's not going to destroy the galaxy, so this whole...
Well, what about the neutron burst?
So what? It wouldn't destroy the galaxy.
Well, that's true. Well, maybe he's talking about the stability of the galaxy.
No.
Well, if the Romulan Empire, which is one of the largest empires in the 24th century, is in shambles, don't you think there would be like a power vacuum and all the other races and species around the Romulan Empire will fight over the domination of that area of space?
That's dumb.
I have little time.
I think I'm right.
Politics will not destroy the galaxy.
I have to extract the red matter.
They're acting like this is going to be a cataclysmic event, that the galaxy and everybody in it's going to be destroyed. Bullshit!
Language.
I coughed. I'm sick. Sick of this JJ crap. Also, the build-up to a supernova takes a long time. We're talking like a good century, or not, if not more, probably a lot more. you think the Romulans would know about this way prior and actually have things developed for this? Why are they relying on the Vulcans to help them out, the Vulcan Science Academy?
Look, if we want to talk about theoretical science, what happens if, let's say, some kind of heavy gravitational force passed very close to the star?
Okay, so you're saying
Wouldn't that change
something
the-
abnormal happened that affected the star,
Yes.
that it came on kind of quick.
Yes.
It's a possibility, I suppose. But they don't say that. Maybe it's the Nexus from Star Trek VI. When wandering by, on its way to Earth in the future, past, or on its way from Earth. Anyway, doesn't matter what Nexus, it's timeless. But anyway, yeah, maybe the Nexus did it.
That's fine. But something caused it to spontaneously change its gravitational field and started to collapse on itself, increasing the gravitational force of the core.
Well, not only is Delta Vega not this close to Vulcan, but there's no way that a planet would be seen that much in the sky and not have a huge gravimetric effect on a planet that's that close. You would not be able to see that from the surface of Delta Vega.
Wait a minute.
Not only is Delta Vega way far from Vulcan, but there's no way that it would be that close.
What happens if that's just what he saw in his mind's eye?
That's really fucking stupid.
How is that really fucking stupid? He felt the pain of the Vulcan people being destroyed. 6 billion people were killed. When
I
that
would think it was-
Vulcan ship was destroyed in TOS, Spock felt it.
He felt it. He didn't fucking see it.
Well, this is a lot more people.
It's like millions of voices cried out and were suddenly silenced.
Exactly.
Okay, Obi-Wan. More Star Wars from JJ.
That was originally Star Trek TOS. He said that he felt the cries of the dying Vulcans on the ship.
I know, but we're talking about a planet and millions of people.
Exact billions. Billions. Billions.
As if millions of voices suddenly cried out.
Billions.
I'm quoting Star Wars.
Why?
Because JJ loves Star Wars.
Who cares?
I'm a Star Wars fan.
I'm just saying
I never liked Star Trek. It's
that
too
they are-
cerebral. I couldn't get into it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to abortion your franchise and turn it into Star Wars.
You need to relax now. Breathe.
I am aware that James Kirk is a friend of yours. I recognize that supporting
I'm fine now.
must have been difficult.
To counter your point, Spock said, Nero put him on that planet so he could witness the destruction of Vulcan. He could have done that anywhere if what you're saying is true.
Maybe he needed to be isolated to truly feel the people's pain.
And put him in the brig. Put him back on the jellyfish ship without an engine. Floating in space. How more isolated can you get? There's no red monsters to join you. And what's with this bobblehead frickin' thing? And who the hell is this shithead? This fucking Jar Jar Binks of the new Star Wars movies. Or Star Trek movies.
He's not really funny. He's kind of young.
He's dumb. Scotty doesn't have a companion. This was just added for comic relief, I think. Some kind of relief. I don't know. Ask JJ. And why is Scotty on this outpost? Oh, I know. Captain. Admiral Archer's
Prize
Beagle.
What?
Oh, look. It's a Tribble. Hear it?
Realize how unacceptable this is.
Fascinating. What?
Okay, I'm sure you're just doing your job, but could you not come a wee bit sooner? 6 months I've been here, living off starving, rotting lives and the promise of a good meal, and I know exactly what's going on here. Okay? Punishment, isn't it? Ongoing. For something that was clearly an accident.
You are Montgomery Scott.
Okay, it's me. You're in the right place. Unless there's another hard-working, equally starved officer around. Me. Get it. Shut up. You don't eat anything. You can eat like a bean and you're done.
See, it's this interaction. That's the comic relief between these two.
Here now, so thank you.
We don't need him. He doesn't exist in Star Trek. Why is he here? And then he continues on into the next movie.
How do you think I wound up here?
He's a new species of alien.
With my instructor on the issue of relativistic physics and how it pertains to subspace travel.
Okay.
They seem to think that the range of transporting something like
Was he a microbe on Nero's ship that came through the thing with them and then developed into this creature?
grapefruit from one planet to the adjacent planet in the same system, which is easy, by the way.
Exactly.
I could do it with a life form.
Doesn't make sense that he'd be hanging out with
I tested
Scotty.
it on Admiral
Why not?
Archer's prize.
Because nothing in this timeline should be different except for Kirk's life, maybe some Starship development, a little bit, but everything is totally different from like way back when. So it wasn't this event that changed this universe like they're trying to make us believe.
The reason you haven't heard it, Mr. Stuff, is because you
Anyway.
haven't discovered it yet.
So, the Enterprise has had its maiden voyage, hasn't it? She is one well-endowed lady. I'd like to get my hands on her ample nacelles on your path.
Stop.
So she just said that the Enterprise had its maiden voyage.
Right, where are you from? What I've done.
In the original universe, the Enterprise was around for a long time before Kirk got it. They had Captain Robert April, then Captain Christopher Pike, then Kirk. So there's no way this was its maiden voyage.
The notion of transwarp beaming.
I'm talking about transwarp beaming an object to another object while at warp. That's wonderful. I don't know how that translates into beaming from planet to planet, as eventually happens, but whatever, we'll go with that. This is JJ physics after all. Yeah, sorry guys, she was bending over to pick up Dot, so I had to like, Dot! You've seen Dot, she's been in a few of the videos. She's done. Yeah, she's bored with this movie too. And why, in God's green earth, would there be... Okay, first of all, Scott would be dead. Second, or that's the first thing. Second of all, why are there huge water pipes in the Enterprise? Is it steam powered?
Maybe it's being used for engine cooling. Maybe it's drinking water. Maybe it's for the dolphin tank.
That's Enterprise D. Don't even start on that. Nobody understands that. We'll get to that too, like when you watch Trekyards and we do the galaxy kind of shit.
Cool? On the Lido deck?
Yeah, but why do we need a filtration system that's big enough for a human body to go through? And then a big spinny thing that... It's like Galaxy Quest.
The
The
chompers?
chompers. Why is that necessary? And Scott would be dead by now. Try holding your breath this long.
I did it, it's possible.
No, it's not.
Yes,
And
it is.
you can't beam into water and be expected to be like holding your breath. Unless, as I said earlier, that it should be like, there's a stasis field around you when you transport so you can't move. Then maybe there's the odd chance that you might be able to hold your breath.
Getting unauthorized access to water turbine control board.
Bring up the
Water turbine controls on the Enterprise.
security, seal the engineering deck. We have intruders in turbine section 3.
Oh, I feel sick again. Bullshit!
You're fired.
Oh, look. Cool. Rising up. I'm excited! Still ugly.
Transporter.
So here in the transporter room we got Scotty, and sitting next to him, that's Chris Doohan. That's Scotty, well,
Unbelievably so, the
Um,
ship is in position.
James Doohan's son, the original Scotty's son. He also stars in Star Trek Continues,
That's funny.
the fan-made episodes as Scotty. So pretty cool that he's in this movie. And of course, you got phasers that sound like they're shooting bullets. They're supposed to be phasers. Look, Star Wars! Sorry, I take that back. Even Star Wars has more laser-like, or phaser-like weapons than this. There's even like ricocheting sounds. So Kirk should technically be dead by now. First he got owned by Spock on the bridge, who's a Vulcan, superior strength. Now he's getting owned by a Romulan,
Also superior strength.
also superior strength, exactly, just like a Vulcan.
And he got beat up by a bunch of cadets at the beginning of this movie too. But Kirk has had his ass beat on multiple occasions. He did get his ass beat by Spock one time in the transporter room of the original series. We all remember that. He also got into a fight with a Gorn.
But this Kirk, his Kirk fu is not strong. You got a double axe handle to the back, or a flying drop kick. These guys would be done. Done. Original Kirk all the way, man. Con! Oh, wait, wrong movie. That's the next one. So lots of missiles going towards the red matter. That's cool. And then the Enterprise has to come and save the day with its phasers, I guess. They look more like bullets too. It's like, yeah, it's like Samuel said in the last, well, actually in an upcoming episode of Trekyards, number 3, we talk about pulse cannons and how, or pulse phasers, and how we don't really like that aesthetic in the JJ verse, so. Here's another good scene with Chris doing. So all this red matter's exposed now. So this is dangerous stuff. One drop can destroy a whole planet. We're very near Earth. We're actually still in the solar system here. So this singularity should be enough to probably destroy our entire solar system. Actually, this red matter is probably more dangerous than the supernova that destroyed Romulus. This might actually destroy the whole galaxy. There's so much red matter. My God. What are we going to do to stop this? Oh my God. We had to stop the supernova that was going to destroy a whole galaxy. What's this going to do? Not much. So this makes perfect sense that they can't escape the gravitational pull. Totally legit. But damn, that's an ugly ship. Anyway. They're at warp, so I don't know what Scotty's going to do in the brewery. Maybe have a drink. I think structural damage like that in their situation would totally rip that ship apart. It's already cracking internally, so technically it should just...
The window broke.
I know. Safety glass, though.
Tempered? Good.
It's transparent aluminum. I don't know if transparent aluminum can break. And how many ships, how many warp cores does a steam-powered starship need? Because it's steam-powered, you know. There should be one warp core, central core. But no, we ejected, what, 15 warp cores there?
Transwarp. Multiple coils.
It's probably legit in this case. JJ and his... Yeah, no.
You need multiple transwarp coils through the ship that large.
Yeah, because it's bigger than Enterprise D, apparently. Anyway, what's going on here should basically destroy our solar system. But...
maybe the blast was tempered because it was being sucked into the black hole.
The black hole, which should be big enough to destroy our whole solar system?
Maybe that was neutralized with the explosion.
That makes some kind of sense, yeah. All this countering my points. Look, there's Earth safe and sound.
It's beautiful blue marble.
Something like that. So sadly, even in this universe, Pike ends up in a wheelchair.
I relieve you, sir.
At least he can talk. At least he's not burned up. So it's got that going for him. I like Pike, by the way.
Yes.
Very much. He's a good guy and a good captain in this one. And I like how his uniform here is sort of reminiscent of the Star Trek The Motion Picture uniforms.
Oh, the white jumpsuits.
Yeah, when you first see Admiral Kirk, he's got the same kind of outfit on. I really like how they tied that together. So JJ does do things right, don't get me wrong. I don't totally hate the new Star Trek. It's still Star Trek and you gotta love it, you gotta watch it, you gotta like it for what it is. At least one of you out there is going to disagree with me, and I know your name. I'm not going to say it because but you're going to say it's not even worth watching JJ, and I disagree. Like I said, it is Star Trek. It needs to be enjoyed, and you can enjoy this movie. It's kind of fun to nitpick it.
It's science fiction.
But I nitpick all the Star Trek movies anyway, as you would see if you watch my other reviews. So nothing is safe from me, even stuff I love. So get down, Comic Relief, who doesn't exist.
Just doesn't like short people.
I like short people just fine. Except unless they're children. I hate kids.
Permission granted. As you have yet to select a first officer, respectfully, I would like to submit my candidacy.
So,
Should you desire, I can provide character references.
all in all, it's a good movie. It's a good action movie. You don't need to be a Star Trek fan to enjoy it, which is awesome. But I think it's a lot more Star Wars than Star Trek. Sorry. I know a lot of you guys like it, and that's fine. It's great. To each their own. Like I said just a minute ago, I do like the movie. There's certain things about it that bug me. This is the main one. I love this, the original Enterprise. This one, the proportions are off. You need the engines further apart.
He doesn't like when the engines are too close together.
It just doesn't look right. The proportions are totally wrong. And anyway, guys, there you have it. Directed by J.J. Abrams. Jar Jar Abrams. I think he'll do a much better job on Star Wars. I'm looking forward to that. But anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. I know this is a little long. It's over an hour. Most of them are 45 minutes, but
there's lots to say.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys stuck with it to the end. It was my pleasure to do it. I'm going to be doing the Into Darkness next, and Silvia will join me for that one as well.
Yep.
So, once again, guys, thanks for tuning in. This is me and Silvia.
Hi.
Signing off for now. So, good luck. I mean, live long and prosper. Bye, guys.